nice to see you all in the morning compared to at night. I'm more of a morning person these days than a night person. I think that the pandemic has shifted that for me. I hope you all slept well. I'm curious to know whether you are watching this live or watching this at a later point in time. So we're about a third way. We are a third way through this accountability challenge. I would love to know how has your experience been so far? Have you noticed any shifts or changes now that you've been meditating consistently for 10 days? It's okay if you haven't. There's no judgment. Don't be hard on yourself. That defeats the purpose of it. I'm just curious, just check in, right? Mindfulness is all about noticing with curiosity, not with judgment, but with curiosity. So I always like to hear about people's experiences. Sometimes people notice something shift right away. Sometimes it can take a few months before it shifts, sometimes just a few weeks. So just curious to know how everyone's experience has been, what you've been finding the most helpful, even if you don't feel comfortable or you don't want to share in the comments publicly. If you want to send me a message or an email, katie@peaceandpuremont.com. I just love, it's a good benchmark. We're a third way through. I'd love to check in, know how this is going for you. Maybe if there's another way I can support you or your family in these sessions, let me know. I'm happy to bring something different to them. So this morning I'm going to read another passage from Journey to the Heart by Melody Beattie. Sometimes I just like to open to a random page. So this book, it has daily meditations and they're dated. Sometimes I'll go to today's meditation. Sometimes I'll just flip open to a random page, and it seems to be very synchronistic in that someone out there needs to hear whatever message is on the page that day. So today's message is stay clear. Sometimes we don't tell other people what we're feeling. Sometimes we don't tell ourselves. Often on this journey, provocative events happen. We may become resentful, angry, or frightened. Emotional energy builds up within. If we don't take the time to work it out, the emotion becomes a block. It blocks the channel to our heart. It blocks our channel to ourselves. It can block our connection to others and to the universe. We may think we're being polite and appropriate by not saying what we feel. We may think that most thoughts and emotions are so minor it would be wasteful of time to acknowledge and express each and every one of them. It's true that some aren't worth mentioning, but many are. We need to take the time to feel and release the thoughts and beliefs that are important to us. Is a relationship blocked? Are we feeling something we're unable to discuss? The feeling won't disappear. The energy of the unexpressed feeling will be present, blocking our connection until we take the time to get it out. We may tell the other person what we're feeling, but all of us are wiser than we think. And our bodies and emotions will begin reacting to what's denied despite what we say. Many of us experiment with the technique of using affirmations to try to further our growth. The same principle applies. If we say we love ourselves, but we've got a chunk of self-reproach tucked deep down inside, we'll continue to act as if we dislike ourselves until we clear the other energy out. What are you feeling? No, what are you really feeling? Ask yourself as often as you need to. Then take the time to feel and release the emotion, thought, or belief. You've connected to yourself. You are connected to the world around you. Now keep your connections clear. I like that one. And also, because especially teenagers can have a really difficult time, and tweens, articulating how they feel and talking about emotions, especially if they feel uncomfortable and awkward in it. A really great tool that I recommend to some of my clients is to start a journal where they can write out any awkward questions or feelings or things that they want to share with you or your partner, but maybe don't feel comfortable having that face-to-face conversation. And then maybe it's like you check it weekly or nightly, and then respond back to them in written form rather than them again having a face-to-face conversation that feels like too much for them at this point in their life. All right, so let's get ready for meditation. The wooden chair I'm sitting in, I'm just gonna sit my feet on the ground today because this chair is not very comfortable. I'm going to set my timer for 5 minutes. You know, actually, since we're a third way through, I'm gonna up it a bit. I'm gonna set my timer for 7 minutes today. And I might move to the bed because this chair is not very comfortable to do it for 7 minutes. And that's an important part of meditation, is being aware of how you feel, how your body feels, and setting yourself up to be comfortable. At some point this month, I'll walk everyone through different ways you can meditate. Like, I have a few different props at home that when I meditate, it's been a while, but when I do meditate for an hour plus or even 20 minutes or longer, they just make the experience much more comfortable. So I'll share them maybe later this week or this weekend. Okay, so I'm going to start my timer for 7 minutes. Just remember, it's okay. It's totally normal if you notice your mind wander. Just breathe into it. If it helps, put your hands on your stomach. Feel your stomach expand and contract with each breath in and out. So we'll welcome a nice deep breath in. And let's begin. hope you enjoyed the meditation. I hope it didn't feel too long. I know that adding an extra 2 minutes sometimes can feel like a really long time, but I think you'll start to notice a shift soon if you haven't yet. One last thing I want to touch on before we end today's session is the reading today actually really resonated for me for a lot of reasons. I used to repress how I felt until I couldn't anymore, and then I would explode on people. And that's why self-care is like so important to me, and I realized the extent and the need to address this not so flattering quality of myself probably like 5 or 6 years ago is when I started to really like go down this road of alternative ways of communicating, processing things, working through challenging moments. So for me, a question that I ask myself regularly that maybe you'll find helpful is when I feel really compelled to like passionately share how I feel about something, I'll pause and I'll ask myself, okay, what's my intention in sharing this? Is my intention to like unload and make another person feel horrible because they made me feel horrible? Is my intention to articulate how that action or that experience made me feel so that they understand and they don't do it again? And then kind of like taking as much time, and that's why meditation is so helpful, because it really gives you that time when you want to react or when you feel impulsive and you want to do something, that time to really think about why you're doing it and how the most effective way of doing it is really a game changer. It's everything. And I think that once it clicks for you, if it hasn't already, it will carry over into many areas of your life. Because personally and professionally for me, like just giving myself that grace period where like I don't have to respond to this right away. I can take a day or more than that if I need to ruminate, think about it, and then decide really like how I want to respond. And it will be coming from a very grounded place of love and because I care, whether it's caring more, about me and myself and, standing up for myself, or if it's with a person close to me and I want them to understand, how their actions or their words impacted me. But asking yourself that can be a really helpful tool. So what's my intention and what's the best way to go about it? So they know I'm communicating this because I love them. I love our relationship, not because I feel bad and I want to make them feel bad. That's been a huge game changer for me. So I hope you found this session helpful. As always, leave a note in the comments, message me, email me if anything comes up, Katie@peaceandparamount.com. Otherwise, I'll see you tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll be back to nighttime sessions. Unless you guys like these morning sessions more, it really doesn't matter to me. It did this today because we're away, but just let me know. Keep me posted. Have a great